Welcome to episode 526 of the Pittsburgh Nerd Podcast. I'm Sean.
And I'm Ian, and this is the only podcast that says
the roses in the window box have tilted to one side. Everything about this house is going to grow and die. Oh, it doesn't seem a year ago to this very day. You said, I'm sorry, honey, if I don't change the pace, I can't face another day. Yeah. I've been jamming Elton John today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Polar opposite of what you've been doing. You've been jamming the Cinderella. I was jamming Elton John. So how are you?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah, feeling better.
Good. Your porch looks nice.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Got all rearranged and...
More to do.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'd like to get some porch furniture out there.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
doing that and working. That's about it.
Yeah. Yeah, you and me both.
I watched the last 5 episodes again with my kids on the bear.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I finished that with them.
Yeah.
And Lisa, it's such a good show.
Yeah. You like it a lot.
Oh, just how it is. It's just,
Yeah.
It just reminds you of the kitchen.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It just goes so well into character development.
Yeah.
It's just really well done. Like, he's the main focus, but there's these surrounding players that each have a story, and they go into that so well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I really enjoy it.
Oh, excuse me.
Sure. And watch Stranger in Worlds. Another great episode.
Wasn't it, though?
Yeah.
Oh, my.
Yeah. Fucking great.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a really good episode.
Yeah. Sick. So. Just keeps going up.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, I like the side story, like with like the other captain, there's his love interest, who you've seen a few times, but like it's that odd thing of like it's a show that's episodic, so that but yet there are things that are strung together that create like a continuity to the series.
Yes.
You know, like, yes, you don't have to have seen the previous episode to understand this one, but you know, there are strings that are going along.
Yeah,
a little bit.
It helps.
Yeah, like Spot's relationship with Chapel, Pike's relationship with this other captain.
Yeah,
and, you know, little like the doctor and.
I find him very fascinating.
I do too. He's a very interesting character.
Don't you think?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. I find him like all of a sudden you understand that he's like this brutal warrior.
Yeah. Like he's done things.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and it's like, wow.
Yeah. And Pike's like, no, I need you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I don't want anybody else. I need you for this.
Like, even like...
Because I know how brutal you are.
Like, that first episode when they hopped themselves up on, like, roids. Like, him and Chapel.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit. You know.
Yeah.
And they were both like, yeah, we just carry this around just in case.
And wicked, right?
Yeah, like, holy fuck.
Just in case, you know.
Yeah.
In case we need it. I'm like... It's like a super serum.
Yeah. It is.
So badass.
It was. I mean, that was like, so like, that character is, like... I mean, at first you thought, man, he's like one note. He's got his daughter, you know, in the transporter.
Exactly.
And like he's really developed since then into like a very interesting character. Where you're like, this motherfucker is just.
I thought they were gonna boot him off.
Yeah.
After the daughter episode.
Yeah, like after that, I thought like, yeah, you know, he'll just become a background character. No, he is very interesting.
Yeah, he is. He's like so interesting. I love the character.
Yeah.
I mean, you like the character. You know what I mean? Like, so freaking good.
Yeah, but like, I mean, like, you know, when Pike's like, no, I need you. Like, I don't need a doctor. I need you. You're like, oh, shit.
Yeah, he wants the big dog.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wants someone that's going to, like, kick some ass and take names.
Yeah.
And he's the man.
If necessary, I need a badass motherfucker. And you fit the bill, my friend.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it was a great episode.
Yeah.
The acting was very good on the whole memory forgetting, and
yeah,
I thought that was well done.
Yeah.
I like the story behind the guy that got left behind.
Yeah.
To get his anger.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I agree. Like, I thought it was a really well done episode.
It kind of reminded me of some parts of it reminded me of what's his name? Spock's brother.
Oh, Saavik.
Saavik? Is that it? No, not Saavik.
That's Saavik. Saavik was
yeah.
Yeah. No, I can't think of his brother's name.
Something Auk.
Yeah.
Anyway, like that guy with his tattoos. And,
yeah.
Like he didn't want to remember his pain.
Yeah.
And it just reminded me of his brother. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not that it had anything to do with this episode, but I'm just saying it was good. It was a good episode. Yeah. So, yeah, I really enjoyed it. Watch the new Dad is excellent. So fucking good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So fucking good. I'm going to spoil it real quick.
Good.
Not the whole thing.
Yeah.
There's this one part where they're going to get Maggie's kid.
Yeah.
And this guy has him.
Yeah.
And he was once part of Negan's squad.
Right.
And Negan shot his ear off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because he had gone too far. He tortured a teenager, a young kid.
Yeah.
And that was too much for Negan.
Yeah.
This is with Lucille and everything.
Yeah.
What's his name? The weird guy.
Yeah.
Remember the weird guy? His like right hand man.
Yeah.
Went and got Negan. And was like, look, we got to take care of business here because this guy's.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? And Negan was like, we always said no kids, no children, nothing.
Yeah.
Like that. And he says, but I had to get. He's like this. He's almost like German or something.
Yeah.
We had to get to the truth. You know this, Negan, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, that didn't pass for Negan.
Yeah.
And Negan attempted to kill him, and he escaped.
Right.
So he's in Manhattan now, and he's a scientist. So he's made the methane from the dead. He's using as fuel.
Right.
So he's built this empire.
Right.
But he's crazy. I mean.
Yeah.
And so anyway, they're going in to get her kid, and then all of a sudden you hear the whistle.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to draw him out.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you hear the whistle.
Yeah.
Like Negan's whistle.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit. It's so on right now.
Yeah.
You know? And old Negan comes back somewhat.
Yeah.
And he's different. He's changed man now.
Right.
But that part of him is still in there.
Right.
Like when he gutted that guy.
Yeah.
He killed somebody else.
Yeah.
Because they were going to tell. Meanwhile, he's trying to protect Maggie.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's just it's really fucking good. Yeah. It's that good.
I'm glad you're like Jeffrey Dean Morgan's an amazing actor.
I just love it so much.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that, they meet up with people and then that's it. It's really just centered around really Maggie and Negan. Right. And then the guy asks him, where's Lucille?
Yeah.
And he was like, she's gone.
Yeah.
It's good, dude.
I'm glad you're enjoying it.
But he's got the,
Yeah.
He's got his leather jacket on again.
Yeah.
He doesn't have his matches, but he's got his... Maggie took his matches from him.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I don't know.
It's weird.
Yeah.
So anyway, it was good.
Good.
It's great. Yeah, I'm absolutely loving this series. Truly. It's just a bright spot. Put it that way. Yeah, just absolutely love the series so far. And if it ends, I'm good with it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm good with it.
Yeah, it's a limited series, 10 episodes.
One-off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, one-off series. I would be completely fine with it.
Yeah. I get that.
Yeah. It doesn't need to carry on for 19 years.
Yeah.
You know? I don't care. At this point of the game, I don't really care about building and rebuilding and having a society, and I don't care about that shit anymore. I don't think anybody does.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is just like on the road experience stuff that's happening. It's like,
yeah,
I get that. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's really good. I think that's it from me.
I also watched Secret Invasion.
I didn't get to that. Is it good?
I've enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I know people are like, "Oh, this is fucking awful." Like, I don't get that. Like, I'm not gonna tell you it's the best thing they've done, but I've enjoyed it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, and I'm intrigued to see. It's only 6 episodes. There were 3 in, so we're halfway there. Like, I'm just intrigued to see how it goes and what it leads to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's. I've just enjoyed like again, like, it's a little bit into that like interesting side of like the Marvel universe, like with like the spy stuff, but also like now the paranoia of like the Skrulls, and you know there are some words that are being used where you're like, oh shit, I can't believe he said that, you know. for as a comic book fan, you're just like, oh shit, okay, yeah. I'm there. Like, people are like, why aren't they just calling in the Avengers for this? Or well, the Avengers aren't a thing again.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's...
Yeah, they're all split, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, not only that, but I mean, like, if you think about it, like, the core of the Avengers is gone.
Right.
For the most part. You know, Cap and Steve Rogers and Tony Stark are gone. Right. So you can't rely on them to reform the Avengers.
Right.
You know? So it's like, who's going to fall in line with Falcon as Captain America?
Yeah.
You know? And, you know, you look at, like, well what's available? Well, you've got, you know, War Machine. And that's about it.
Wow. You have others.
Well, there are others out there, yes. But they're not, like, in the fold. You know what I mean? Like, if you think about it, like, okay, you got Hulk, you know, Smart Hulk is still out there. You know, She-Hulk is now out there. But, you know, is she going to be with the Thunderbolts, or is she going to be an Avenger? Yeah. Like, you know, Daredevil, you don't know where he stands. You know, Wanda's dead, quote unquote. Vision's dead. You know, there's a lot of like what the Avengers were. Like Hawkeye, he's not Hawkeye anymore.
Yeah.
You know, but you got, you know, what's her name? Kate Bishop. So it's like this thing of like, you know, so what? There is no, like, you can't just call in the Avengers.
Right.
Anymore. Like, you know.
And the Langs.
Yeah. You know, so it's.
I mean, you know what I mean.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not like that you have that ability. So it's like, yeah, this is Nick Fury taking this on his own.
Yeah.
You know, and how does Nick Fury handle this? Because he has nobody to turn to except for the few friends that he has.
Right. What was he doing up there for so long?
Well, I mean, that was apparently, he was up there for Saber.
Okay.
Building what I would imagine to be a weapons platform, you know, for Earth defense against aliens.
Yeah.
Because we now know, like, we know for sure, oh, yeah, aliens exist. I mean, you know, without people realizing there are a million Skrulls walking among us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like this interesting thing of like, yes, I mean, I think Saber is going to be something for a bigger end game.
Yeah.
But what that end game is, I don't know. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, at some point, are you do? I mean, you know, you're talking about like Kang. You still have that coming up. You still have like, you know, is Saber going to be a defense mechanism against fucking what's his name? Galactus. Like, is that come into play? At that, you know, it's shit like that I'm like I'm thinking like, okay, like. You got to think big time. Like, you know, the Skrulls are here. You know, the Fantastic Four's got to be just around the corner. You know,
yeah.
Galactus has got to be just around the corner. Like, I don't think like it's like, well, who other than Doom, like who are like the Fantastic Four's biggest threat? Well, it's usually the Skrulls. Well, the Skrulls are being used now. Like, I don't think they're gonna go like the mole people.
No.
You know, like. There was a lot of hokey horse shit that was done with the Fantastic Four that you couldn't do now. But
Skrulls you can do.
Yeah, but the Skrulls are being done without the Fantastic Four. So it's like, okay, if that's the case, like, and you know, like, that first movie's gonna be Doom, but you have to include something else. What's the next biggest thing? Well, it's usually Galactus.
Maybe it won't be Doom. Well, if you do an origin movie, it has to be.
Yeah.
But if you don't do an origin movie...
Right.
Which I read that Superman, they're not going to do an origin
No,
movie.
they're not.
And I was kind of glad about that.
Yeah.
But if, you know, Marvel takes a page away from that book, if they don't do...
I mean, they technically Spider-Man was a 3-movie origin story. But they never showed you, like, Peter Parker being bit by the spider...
Right.
You know, all that, the usual stuff that you kind of got a brief, like, yes, this is what happened, Ned. I got bit by this radioactive spider and I got these powers.
Yeah.
End of story.
Yeah.
You know, like, it didn't go down the road that, like, a normal Spider-Man origin story goes.
All right.
Even though technically it was a 3-movie origin story.
Yeah. And you can, like, put Doom, I mean, they can show flashbacks of what happened. And that... Victor was on the, you know,
right,
was there,
right,
but you can end it with that.
But he wasn't in the comic book.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, you're right.
Like something else, I can't remember what. I mean, he wore the armor because he just wanted to be a badass.
Yeah, you're right. You're exactly right. Sorry, I was going from the movies.
Yeah, so I mean, like you don't have to have, but like. At least show like in the opening credits, like the news report of like you know Reed Richards' space expedition fails, and you know then you kind of like go in like you don't.
It
have
could be
to,
like very Elon Musk-ish. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. Like you can
Doom
do
space
it.
flight.
Yeah. Like you can do it without like giving me a full blown like first hour of the movie is them getting their powers and discovering their powers. Like, you know, you can go straight to like them in the costumes and understanding how the shit works.
Yeah, you can go right there.
Yeah. You can give me a brief description like, and this is what happened, you know, and then we're right into it.
Yeah. And this is where we stand now.
Yeah.
Who's playing Thing?
I haven't heard.
That's big.
That is big.
That's a big part.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, it's bigger than... Other than Reed, it's a huge part. Ben Grimm is...
He's a huge part of the Marvel Universe, period.
Period.
Yeah.
But it's a huge part in the Four, too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's the heart and soul.
He is. So it's... God, I hope it's good.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope their decision...
As bad as those two Fantastic Four movies were, like the first two, the third one's fucking awful. Michael Chiklis knew what he was doing as the Thing. He had that shit down pat.
Yeah.
The only thing that was bad was his costume.
Yeah, but I mean, the voice, everything.
Everything, yeah.
That, I mean, he's one of the only characters I've ever seen on screen that completely translates to the comic.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like when he speaks, I'm reading a Fantastic Four comic.
Yeah.
That's what Ben sounds like to me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, he sounds exactly how Chiklis was playing him.
Right. I agree.
It was just like right out of the comic book.
Like,
Crazy.
Out of all those characters, like, he was the only one who got it right.
Yeah, and I'm talking like over Wolverine and over everybody.
Yeah.
Except for Professor X. He had it. That's how I imagined he was.
Yeah.
But, I mean, over everybody, he really, like, it was straight out of the comic book. It was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's over DC, too. I mean, that's one of the first times I ever saw something where I was like, holy fuck, man.
Yeah.
Talk about from page to screen.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right.
Even with clobbering time.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like, man. That's
talking about his baby blues and like, everything. Like, he had that character down. Yeah.
Perfect.
Absolutely perfect.
Yeah, but then, is he too old? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm sure he is. I mean, I wouldn't want to reuse checklists, but at the same time, you're right. Like, that is an important character you got to get right. Because Ben Grimm is the heart and soul of the Four.
Yeah, and I think he's older than Reed, right?
I don't know if he's older than Reed or not.
I don't know.
Anyway, yeah. I mean, the rumor was Adam Driver was going to play Reed Richards.
Oh, okay.
Like, I was down with that. I'm like, okay, Adam Driver. Okay. Give him the gray temples. I'm in.
What's his name would make a good Reed?
John Krasinski?
No. Pike.
Oh, yeah. Anson Mount? Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I can't argue that.
He's got the look.
He does.
And he can act.
Oh, yeah, he can act. I mean, he was the best part of that shitty Inhuman show that they did. That show was fucking horrible, and he was still really good in that. Mm. So, I mean, yeah, like, I'll follow Anson Mount to the ends of the earth.
He would be good.
Yeah.
He has the look, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Probably not as tall. I don't know. I'll have to see.
The other guy I would use, I can't think of his name, but he was the guy who played the head coach in the Friday Night Lights TV show. I can't think of his name to save my life. Kyle Chandler, I think is his name. Like, he has the look, but my only concern is, like, his act. Like, he's got, like, a bit of a... Like, he puts on a... I think he's Southern. It's like when he was, like, doing a Texas accent, it works. But, like, when he tries to, like, do, like, a Northern accent, it sounds a little goofy.
Yeah.
No, I shouldn't say that, because I've seen him in other stuff. Like, he played the dad in 8mm.
Okay.
He played the dad in Godzilla King of the Monsters.
Yeah.
And the other one, Godzilla vs. Kong, he was in that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
I just watched that the other day.
Yeah, so like he could probably pull it off. I don't know how tall he is though, but like it's Hollywood. He'll make him look 6 foot.
Yeah.
You know?
It'd be cool to see Stretch being Stretch.
Yeah.
And doing what he does.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know how it's gonna look, but I questioned the raccoon too. So.
Oh, yeah. Sure we all questioned the raccoon. We all did.
I was like, what the fuck?
How are they going to make this work?
How are they going to bring Rocket to life?
Yeah.
They did.
I mean, they can't do any worse than they've done previously. Like, I think that's that may be the hardest thing to get right is like that stretching motion, how it looks. So it doesn't look like shitty CGI.
Yeah.
But at the same time, man, I mean, the 3 previous movies where they've had Reed Richards, I guess it didn't look that bad in Doctor Strange.
No.
As I sit here and think about, like, John Krasinski is Reed.
But they don't want him as Reed.
No.
Why?
I don't know.
Who'd he piss off?
I don't know. Cause he'd be a perfect Reed.
Yeah.
Like it was and it was like they gave us Reed in that movie as like fan casting. Like you want John Krasinski's Reed Richards? Here he is.
Yeah.
You know. And I mean, like I like John Krasinski a lot.
Uh-huh.
Like I loved him as Jim in The Office. I love him as Jack Ryan. You know, but it's like that thing of like, man, just give us what we want. Like you did it for Strange.
Yeah.
We said the only man we're going to accept is Benedict Cumberbatch. They gave us Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, he's the perfect Strange.
He is.
And we knew that before they even thought about
filming
that series.
Yeah.
We were like, yeah, you got to get him.
Yeah. Yeah, get Sherlock.
This is where he fits.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not as Khan.
No. Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
So, anyway, we'll see what goes on. See what happens.
Yeah.
It's funny.
And I started watching the docu-series about American Gladiators on Netflix.
Oh, how's that going? Depressing.
It's interesting. Like, it's exactly what I had expected it to be.
Yeah?
Like the first episode was all about the pilot and like trying to get this fucking thing set up, and that was a disaster, but they figured it out, and like but like clearly like you're talking about like people like hopped up on steroids, people like just debauchery.
Really?
Yeah. Like, clearly, like, because, I mean, if you think about it, like, these were attractive people. The guys are muscle bound, the women are they're all fitness people. And you're talking about L.A. in the late 80s and early 90s.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, this is just going to lead to nothing but debauchery. And, like, I was so far along, and, like, now they're talking about, like, the tour that they did. Like, they went on a tour, and it was like, I just can't wait. I'm sure, like, that's nothing but, like, Led Zeppelin-esque road stories.
Yeah.
So, but, I mean, it's interesting, like they talk about the steroid use, and, like the production company was like, yeah, we're going to have to start testing for steroids. That starts in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So it's like, we want you to get clean, please. Yeah. So, but they only did it once, and they never, nobody got fired, so it was like everyone must have passed. But it was like that thing that they were just doing to appease sponsors.
Yeah.
All
the contestants won for those, like, 3 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's been interesting to kind of see it. Because it's like one of those things, like, on the outside looking in, like, you're like, well, they've got to be hopped up on roids. They've got to be taking human growth hormone. Like, there's no way these guys can be like, they were talking about, like, we did an entire season in, like, a month.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're going 5 days a week like that, like, you gotta be, like, getting the shit kicked out of you.
Yeah.
And, like, and those games that they play, like, for the most part, like, I mean, like, the one where it was, like, a football scrimmage, and then you went into a wrestling ring.
Yeah.
And you had to wrestle for, like, your body was taking a beating. I don't care what you say. That shit, I can't even imagine. Then you're talking about, like, they went on the road, they did, like, 120 cities. Like, what the fuck? Like, you're just getting the snot knocked out of you every fucking night. So, but it's been interesting to watch. Like, if you were into that show, like, I loved that show back in the day.
Okay.
Like, that was like must see TV for me. And so, like, to kind of, like, see these people now, and you hear them talk about like what happened then, is very interesting.
What do they look like now?
Some of them are still very
fit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like some, like particularly the women. Like, there were a couple women that were actually, they were bodybuilders.
Okay.
Like, the one girl, she talked about, like, I wasn't taking steroids because I wanted to stay feminine, but I was taking human growth hormone, you know, because I didn't want the testosterone, but I wanted to be able to, like, heal my joints.
Yeah.
I was pulling muscles and stuff in these competitions, and human growth hormone was helping me heal quicker.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I put on bulk because of it.
Yeah.
And that wasn't bad.
Yeah.
But I wasn't growing a mustache. So it's stuff like that. Like it's like a lot of them like still look good from the standpoint of like they stay fit.
Yeah.
And there was one guy who like he was like briefly on the show and like he's like you could tell he's not gonna let himself go but he's happy.
Yeah.
So good for him. But it's interesting to watch because it's just like that odd thing of like it's again like we always talk about things like you couldn't do today, and that's probably a show you couldn't do today, just based upon the physicality of it.
Yeah.
And the demands you would be placing on your body. Like we're just more self-conscious about that, and like concussions and stuff like that, where like you couldn't do like we're gonna do like a 20 episode season in a month. Just knock that shit out.
Yeah.
And then after we're done with that month, we're gonna take it on tour.
Right.
So
get ready.
Yeah. But like maybe you could because I mean the WWE still does it.
Yeah.
They're on the road 300 nights a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's a weird thing like to think about like
do they fly everywhere or is it all road tripping with trucks and stuff? Just curious.
I think some of it is because their schedule is Thursday to Sunday, or Thursday to Monday, excuse me. And then they have Tuesdays and Wednesdays off. Uh-huh. So I think they try to schedule things in blocks. So like these 5 nights we're going to be here, and here, but we're going to fly you to the first location and then bus you around from there.
Okay.
So it's like all within like a driving distance.
Yeah.
Because I think it's also like for like crew like like especially with like the house shows which are non-televised events. Like that's probably easier for them to like okay, we gotta take this down, we gotta truck it from Buffalo to Pittsburgh.
Right.
And from Pittsburgh to Baltimore, and then Baltimore to somewhere. It's 5 nights of like it's not that far to drive.
Yeah.
To haul the equipment. So I think that's how they do it now. It's not like back in the day when like you'd finish your match, you'd get in your car, you'd drive 5 hours to the next city.
Yeah.
Like now I think they take care of them in that. I know a few of them actually have like their own buses even.
Really?
Like, well, yeah, because like they have, like I think Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. They're a married couple, and they have a kid.
Uh-huh.
And I think they actually have their own tour bus to for them as a family.
Oh, I see.
So, like they're not away from their child. The child's on the road with them. Mm-hmm. Stuff like that. I think Cody Rhodes has his own tour bus as well. So I think there are a few of them that have their own tour bus. There are also a few though that they don't like appear 300 dates a year. Yeah. Like Roman Reigns, I think he only does selected non-televised events like in the major markets. And other than that, he's Friday nights on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like for him, it's a much more relaxed schedule because that's what he's got signed into his contract.
Yeah.
So.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I think there are some of them that they're not at every single event. When there are others that, yeah, you're limited on a totem pole. You're going to be on the road for 300 days a year. Enjoy.
Yeah. Here's a Twix.
Yeah. Here's a Twix. Enjoy catering.
Yeah, right. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's just even the WWE's kind of realized like you got to make it easier.
Yeah.
Burnout. Yeah. But I mean, like back in the day, like Mark Flair talked about, I was on the road 325 days a year. Like, we'd do a West Coast swing. We'd stay in Vegas, fly to LA. I'd wrestle an hour match, fly back to Las Vegas, gamble and drink all night, fly from Vegas the next morning to the next location, wrestle for an hour, fly back to Vegas. So some people, they back in the day, they just worked the system. It was just an excuse to drink and get laid.
Who did Flair hang out with?
Well, I mean, he hung out with, like, the Four Horsemen were, like, they weren't just, like, a group on TV. They partied together.
Okay.
Like, Telly, Arn, and Rick and J.J. Dillon were, like, it's like, that's what when they talk about the Horsemen, that's what they were doing. Like, those four guys were drinking all night, showing up at the, like the great Bobby Lane. Like, Bobby Lane back in the day would show up at a game right after leaving a bar, throw for 300 yards, and go back to the bar.
Yeah.
That was Ric Flair. Ric Flair would drink all night, get laid, show up for the show, do his hour, get out, and go back to to what he was doing.
Wow.
That wouldn't fly today. Oh. All right. Put that in the air. The air clear.
Yes.
Oh my. I'm trying to think. That's it. That's all I've been watching.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to watch. There's that movie of the Outlaws, I guess it's called. It's got Ellen Barkin and Pierce Brosnan. Apparently, geriatric bank robbers.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. It looked interesting enough. Like, I love Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah.
I especially love him in like a slightly comedic role.
Yeah, sure.
Because his delivery is usually spot on.
Yeah.
I love in the trailer, like, there was that one line where he's like, do you think I look like James Bond? And she goes, oh, yeah. And Brosnan goes, which one? She goes, 5, which is him.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Of course he would say that.
Yeah. So I wanted to watch that, but I didn't get a chance. No. I'll get it in. I'm trying to think what else. That's it. That's all I got.
Okay.
Yeah. So here's a question.
Okay.
My parents asked me this the last time I was over there. By the way, Big Chuck is doing well, for those who are wondering.
Yeah.
He go see the doctor, and they put him in a better brace and sling. He does not need surgery.
Oh, good.
So, just needs time to heal, and he's doing better.
Oh, that's good.
But they were having a conversation. They posted it to me. I'm gonna post it to you.
Okay.
And not what your favorite song is, but what do you think is a perfect song?
A perfect song.
Right.
It would take a lot of thought.
Like, I have 3. Like, there are 3 that come to my mind that when I think, okay, based upon, they're not my favorites,
Okay.
I mean, I like them a lot, but they're not my favorite song. But like, they are 3 songs I listen to. I think, wow, it's just a perfect piece of music and the lyrics and everything. And that's "Innuendo" by Queen.
Okay.
"Bet Out of Hell" by Meatloaf.
Okay.
And "Funeral for a Friend" / "Love Lies Bleeding" by Elton John.
Okay.
Like those, and all 3 of them to me like have a common theme to them. And why I think they're perfect is that they change throughout, and the changes work.
Okay.
Like "Innuendo" starts as one thing, it goes to another thing, it goes back to a third thing. "Bet Out of Hell" by Meatloaf, same thing. Like, I mean, that, the way the music is, it builds up, it comes crashing down, it builds back up again. The lyrics, the way, the meaning behind the lyrics, like it works. And "Funeral for a Friend," "Love Lies Bleeding," which we opened the show with the opening verse.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Like, "Funeral for a Friend" is an amazing piece of music all by itself, but then when you attach that to "Love Lies Bleeding," and Bernie Taupin was writing that for his ex-wife because they had just broken up, and it was kind of like his apology for, like, "I'm sorry I wasn't there."
Yeah.
They're just all 3 of those pieces of music all kind of have the same thing of like these ups and downs and these flows, but it works very, very well with each piece of music. Like, it's like it makes sense, and the way it changes pace and everything is like, okay, yeah, that's really cool. And they're a little bit over the top to me, like, as far as like one of the reasons I love Queen is they are over the top with their music.
Right.
And say with Meatloaf, like, that music is always over the top, because with the way it's written and his delivery and everything, it's like almost like rock opera to me.
Yeah, but those are usually going to be the songs that,
Yeah.
That. I don't know. That's a tough one.
It is.
I don't. There's so many good songs by Floyd. And you're gonna laugh when I say this, but I think one of the best. I think a song that I like so much and I listen to a lot is because it has so many changes in it, and there's a lot of meaning by.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably "Jesus of Suburbia" by Green Day.
Okay.
I love that song.
Yeah.
And it's full of changes.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like telling a story.
Right.
And I enjoy a song that tells a story. I mean, that's just one off the top of my head.
Right.
Others, I'd probably have to get back to you on that one.
Okay.
It's like, there's so many. The perfect song.
Yeah.
Orion. You go through each band.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah. It is.
I'm surprised you came up with that list that quickly.
Well, I mean, I had to think about it while I was sitting there with my parents and we discussed it. I'm like, okay, this is one I think, I mean, we're talking like three songs. Like, out of how I mean, and not even like my favorite songs.
Yeah.
But like, I look at them and I'm like, how they were written, the lyrics,
Music.
the way the music goes with the lyrics. Like my mom was like, Freebird. I think, okay, I'm, to each their own. That wouldn't be my pick, but I also get it. Like,
Black Parade would have to be up there for me.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's a really well written song.
Okay.
And I can remember the first time I heard it, I was like, it's one of the best songs I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
And I was coming back from North Carolina.
Yeah.
And I was like, this truly is one of the best songs I've ever heard.
Right.
Never heard anything like it.
Yeah.
Truly. I was like, blown away.
Yeah.
Singing, guitar, even a brass section at some point. I was like, this is all me.
Yeah.
But you're right, there's so many songs.
Yeah.
You can get on the Zeppelin path.
But
Floyd path. Floyd had some good songs.
Yeah. No, they absolutely did. I'm not denying that for a second.
But the perfect song.
Yeah.
Tell you what, my perfect song is Dance the Night Away.
Yeah.
By Van Halen. Just kidding.
Which is a remix by the Kinks.
I know.
Yeah.
I love that fucking song. I love Van Halen's version.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Oh, I agree.
I think he sounds so good on that song.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's kind of just held back a little bit. He's not too...
It 100% works for them because they were still a party band at that point.
Yeah.
You know, so like Dance the Night Away, like just like it makes complete sense that it would work for Dave.
Yeah. Yeah. That's tough, man.
It is.
Like the perfect song. Like, and of course I go to my favorites, right? Because I mean that's what you go to. But is it worthy enough of being the perfect song?
Yeah.
And I think after all these years for me, I know you're gonna laugh at this one too. But and it's probably in my top 3 songs ever.
Yeah.
Is Home Sweet Home by Crew.
Yeah.
To me it's like I don't know. It's like the perfect song.
Yeah.
And I think for me personally is because I was always away from him.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I mean, in my summers.
Yeah.
I was always away from him. So it hit me differently than would hit a lot of people.
Right.
So to me, it would be almost a perfect song for me.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It makes sense, yeah.
I'm not going like on artistry and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But to me, it was the perfect song.
Yeah.
You know, out of all their songs, it's that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, that's a tough question.
It is, because like it's like they're my favorite songs. And like my favorite songs probably don't like Innuendo's in my top 10 probably. Like, I love that song. But I love it for it has like this at one point an Arabic feel to it. It has a rock feel to it. It's so and it meshes all these different styles together so well.
Yeah.
And I love that song. But like I think about like what are your favorite songs? And it's like like Van Halen, it would probably be like something off of Led Zeppelin 2, but I don't consider anything off of Led Zeppelin 2. Like, Live and Love and Maid, She's Just a Woman. Not a perfect song.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so like Led Zeppelin doesn't have anything I could sit there and I could say like, okay, yeah, that's it. Van Halen, like maybe Dreams.
Yeah.
You know, like as far as like the way it feels and everything. Killing Moon by Echo and the Bunnymen, says Lisa. I can't argue that. I can't argue that at all. That's a great song. Like, even like Fleetwood Mac, like you know, as much as I love whatchamacallit, Go Your Own Way. Like my favorite Fleetwood Mac song, most angry song I've ever heard written in my life.
Yeah,
you know, it's not perfect.
Yeah,
you know, it's not. As much as I love that. And I think about the Rolling Stones. I can't think of a single song by the Stones I would consider perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know either. That's tough.
It is.
And I'm thinking on some of my choices I made, like even with Home Sweet Home, like out of all the rock ballads,
yeah,
I think that was just perfect.
Yeah,
like it was just perfect.
Right, and it's not even like a love song. It's you know, but it's got that slowed down power ballad feel to it. But the lyrics are not about love. It's about, you know, being tired and wanting to go home.
Yeah.
You know?
But there's like this sense of heaviness in the background.
Yeah.
I mean, you can hear Mars in the background. It's like held back, though. You know what I mean?
But you get to that end and a boom, 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 boom. You know, the drums kind of kick in and you kind of crescendo a little bit. And then...
ended with the piano.
Yeah.
It's a good song.
Yeah.
I wonder how much involvement Six had in that. I guess all of it. Well, Tommy Lee wrote the piano part.
Yeah.
For sure.
But I'm sure, like, you know... like, it's that odd thing, like, when it comes to, like, who wrote what?
Yeah.
Like, I know, and it's a weird thing, like, but Neil Peart wrote, like, everything for Rush.
Yeah.
You know, the drummer.
Yeah.
But he wrote everything. You know, and there are other bands that kind of give, like, credit to the band. And it's probably right in a way, but, like, who came up with the lyrics? Like, who came up with the idea for the song? Like, and some people, like, do, like, songs are built different ways. Like, I've seen, like, them talk about, like, you know, I've got these lyrics. Well, here's this lick I've got. And it kind of, like, things start to, you know. And there are other people that's, like, you know, like, well, I wrote this deliberately in this way.
Right.
You know.
Oh, Hetfield Mars.
Yeah. So, like, it's, like, that's an interesting thing, too. Like, how things get written.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Like the creative processes these people have. Like, yeah, I wrote these lyrics out. I think these are really good. And well, I've got a guitar lick that matches that. And, oh, this you know, bass line works with that. And, you know, oh, now we just need to create a drum line. You know, and, you know, so it's like.
Piecing things together.
Yeah.
I'm still thinking. I'm still thinking.
Yeah. Still thinking about it.
Well, I mean, like, there's so many songs going.
Yeah.
Shake Me. Perfect song.
Yeah. Just kidding. Like, there are some that come close. Like, I think about, like, Don't Change by INXS. I love that song. That song's amazing.
Uh-huh.
But it's not, it's close, but not perfect. You know.
Purple Rain.
That might be. I mean, like you listen to the recorded version, the one on the record, and like that song's amazing. Like everything about it, and the guitar lick, you know, at the end and everything. Oh, that you might be onto something there. I can't I can't say no to that.
It's a good song.
It is. And it's the genius of Prince.
It is.
I'm not gonna gush all over him yet again, but I mean, like, it is. I mean, like, it's amazing, like, how that guy's mind worked.
Yeah, I also think too of like, I think if you can achieve like one of the best songs of all time by just being simple.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think that's like an outstanding feat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying that it is, but what I'm saying is something similar to. I've heard other songs too, but like Nothing Compares to You.
Yeah.
Which was a Prince song, I know, but Sinead. Right.
Yeah. I
mean, that's
her song.
It is. I mean, that's
like I've heard the Prince version. The Prince version is not that good.
Oh, that song is amazing.
Her voice, the way the music's played, and you know, like everything about that. Like the only thing that comes close to that is the version I once heard Chris Cornell do.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Yeah, I mean that was like, yeah, but I mean it's Chris Cornell. But the Sinead version, like it's almost emotional.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you not even without the video. Without the video, I'm just talking about listening to the song. Like you almost hear her crying about this relationship lost.
Yeah,
you know, and that's amazing. And I mean, she had a very weird career and like really did nothing that came close to that song. You can almost call her a one-hit wonder in many ways, but that one song is an absolute standout.
Yeah.
You know.
It's a good song. That Cornell version's amazing.
Oh, yeah. Like, there are songs I'm like, okay, that's the definitive version of that song. Like, nobody else can ever touch that. Nobody should even try to touch that.
Yeah.
And even like when I saw Chris Cornell did it, I was like, oh, Chris, what are you thinking? And then I listened to it. And I was like, oh, Chris. You know, like, that's amazing.
Right. It's such a loss.
There's a 30 Seconds to Mars did a remake of a Rihanna song.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. It is amazing. Like, I'm not a Rihanna fan. And I've listened to the Rihanna version just out of curiosity. But the 30 Seconds to Mars version, even Rihanna's like, that is superior.
Really?
Yeah. Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah.
Let me pause it here. See, I played that for you. I mean, that was...
Man, it's a good song.
Yeah. It's like I told you, it drives me nuts because like their new stuff is just so bad.
Yeah.
You know? And it's that thing of like Nancy's trying to defend it. That's like... I told him, like, you can't defend it. It's like me trying to defend the Bruce Springsteen album now.
Yeah.
Bruce hasn't released a good album in 30 plus years.
Yeah.
You know, don't give me the Ghost of Tom Joad. It's fucking awful. Yeah. You know, he hasn't had a good album in a very long time.
Yeah.
And like, you know, so you can't. I won't even try to defend it. As much as I love Bruce, he's just making stuff to make stuff.
Yeah.
You know, but there are times where like you get like this song like by 30 Seconds to Mars, this cover of Rihanna song "Stay." It's amazing.
Right.
It's like it's Lady Gaga on the Star Is Born soundtrack. Oh, God. That soundtrack is amazing.
Okay.
But she doesn't make music like that.
Yeah.
Like I've tried. Like I was so impressed by her on that album. I tried listening to her own stuff.
Yeah.
And I can't. It's just not for me. I'm not saying it's good or bad, but I wish she would do that because she was amazing at that. You know what I mean? Like I will give credit where credit is due. Lady Gaga has one of the best voices I have ever heard.
Yeah.
No, even in the stuff that she makes on her own, her voice is amazing. But I wish she did stuff like she did in that movie.
Yeah.
Like I wish that it's the same thing. Way back when Bette Midler did The Rose.
Yeah.
The Rose soundtrack is one of the best soundtracks ever made.
Mm-hmm.
And Bette Midler is amazing. But that is not Bette Midler music. But I wish it was.
Yeah.
Like, she would much rather do the stuff that she does, and God bless her for it. It's made her a lot of money. But, fuck, I love that. Like, her version of The Rose, just The Rose, that song, is, like, amazing. You know, it is, like, you're like, who the fuck is that? That's Bette Midler? You know?
Yeah.
So, like, that's the difference. I mean, like, you wish an artist would go in one direction and they go in a completely different direction. And, like, I don't blame Lady Gaga. You know, she does her thing and she has her fans and, you know, they like it. God bless them.
Yeah.
But, you know, man, I wish she did, like, that style of music.
What do you think? What do you think about the Beatles? What do you think their perfect song is?
When I'm 64. No, I fuck the.
I was going more along the lines of A Day in the Life.
That's a good song.
Or Blackbird.
Yeah.
Yesterday's a great song.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably Yesterday. Like, I lean more towards My Guitar Gently Weeps because I just really like that song.
Yeah.
A lot. Despite the whole Prince thing connection later on. Like, I just think that is an amazing song. And even, like, I mean, Clapton did the original guitar recording for that. Mm-hmm. But you're probably right. Yesterday is probably, like, the height, like, their peak. You're probably right.
About the Pumpkins. A lot of hits there.
Well, okay. To me, the end is the beginning of the end.
Okay.
Like, it's a weird choice, I know, but I love that song. Like, I do. Like, I think that was, like, Billy Corgan, like, just completely, you know, just all over. Like, that's just, you know, that was him just cracking his nut. I don't know, because it has those changes, but...
Well, they're famous for those changes. That's why I was asking you.
Right. But, like, I think that more than any other song, like, the way it begins, you know, the lyrics, like, it's...
It's tough for me.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to go too early. I don't know.
I mean, weirdly, it's attached to one of the worst Batman movies ever.
Yeah.
But I heard him tell a funny story about that. So, like, Warner Brothers reached out to me, like, we'd like to use your song, a song, and we'll give you the end credits. He's like, the end credits of a Batman movie. Can't turn that down.
Yeah.
So they do the end is the beginning of the end. It goes on the soundtrack. The end credits start to roll. There's this song, and it plays for like 2 minutes, and it goes into another song. And he goes to like his manager. He's like, "I thought we had the end credits." Like, well, you did. You started off the end credits. Like, yeah, but I thought we had the end credits. Like, oh no, they promised it to 4 other people. You know, so the 4 other people get their song at the end on the end credits as well. It's just yours was first.
Nice.
You know, he's like, I would have known that.
Pumpkins are hard for me. So
Yeah,
it's not my favorite song. Mm-hmm. By any means, but 79 is a pretty good song.
That was my other choice. It was 1979. That's like a just a really, really good song.
Yeah. Like I said, not my favorite, but
yeah,
if you're looking for perfection,
yeah, that was choice number 2.
Good song.
Yeah. I don't know if I have this bias towards the end as the beginning of the end, because it's also famously was on that Watchmen trailer.
Yeah.
And that was at the beginning, when was that The Dark Knight. When I saw The Dark Knight, that was the first time I saw the trailer for The Watchmen, and that song was attached to it.
Yeah.
And it was oh shit, this is The Watchmen. So I don't know if I have a bias towards it because of that, but that song.
When I think, I always liked 79. It was a good song, but now when I think of it, I think of Clerks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's such a great scene.
Yeah.
And a good choice of songs.
Yeah.
And it was the perfect shot. That.
Yeah.
That whole sequence was yeah, this is good.
Yeah.
This is Kevin Smith's on a mountain right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is done really well.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I was just rattling off my favorite bands. Some people would argue Stairway is one of the best songs ever written.
That's not even the best Led Zeppelin song ever.
I agreed.
I don't know how you
talking about
argue.
composition.
I think it's the most overplayed Zeppelin song.
Oh, of course it is. I'm not saying I don't think so.
Right. But. I think there are better songs off. I think the Battle of Evermore is a better song.
Yeah.
That's probably my favorite off of Led Zeppelin 4. Rock and Roll, maybe, but also Battle of Evermore, just because it's the first time I ever heard a band take a Tolkien story.
Oh yeah.
And I'm listening to it as a kid, and I'm wait, hold on, let me re-listen to that. Because there's no way this is what I think it is, but it was.
Yeah. Badass.
Yeah. No, this can't be a Tolkien story.
I mean, my favorite Zeppelin song is Kashmir. It's my absolute favorite song of all time of Zeppelin.
Yeah, that's a really good song.
It's a good song.
Yeah. Oh, that's... Yeah.
That's a good song.
Yeah.
But is it perfect?
I almost said that.
Kashmir?
If I'm going on the Led Zeppelin catalog, I'm maybe Kashmir. Because of
the strings and
the way the way Jimmy Page kind of arranged that whole thing, and
when you listen to that song, it's almost like you want to bow to Robert Plant.
Yeah.
It's almost like he's a god.
Yeah.
It's so weird. The way the music is done, and it's very orchestrated.
Yeah.
And then when he speaks, let the sun... You're yes, master, whatever you say, master. I will do whatever you say.
Yeah.
Jump off a cliff, I will jump off a cliff, master.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just... He's almost... It's weird. It might be the perfect song by Zeppelin. When you listen to that song, as soon as he says... Oh, let the sun... When he says that, it's almost like you see orange.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
Not visually, just I don't know how to describe it.
The way that song opens, and then his voice comes in, and the thing people got to remember, Robert Plant had a powerful voice.
Yeah.
Everything about that band was powerful. Page on guitar, Bonham on drums... John Paul Jones bass, everything was supersonic, and then you have his voice, which was so amazing. You're just oh shit. They may be the perfect collection of 4, musicians. what that is. But like, you know what I mean? But like, it's for, like, as a band, like, they may be the perfect collection of 4 people to ever come together.
Agreed.
Yeah.
But I think the perfect 4 people were probably the Beatles. I do. You know what? I don't know the answer to that, really. I mean, I don't know if I can stand by that one or not. Just because Paul and John were so headstrong in that band.
Right.
As far as collaboration.
But, I mean, like, I can also say this,
but
like...
Ringo could play anything.
Right. But also, like, the interesting thing about them is, like, they're the only band that could pivot the way that they did musically.
Yeah.
And it still work.
Yeah.
Like, they went from being pop.
Well, the Beatles did the same thing.
Well, I was saying the Beatles.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Zeppelin.
No, I'm talking about Zeppelin. Zeppelin was Zeppelin.
Yeah.
I'm talking, like, the Beatles transition from being, like, the pop, I want to hold your hand. Help and all that to, like, you know, the White Album.
Yeah.
You know, which is completely different from what they did in the early days, in the early 60s.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You know, like, they and you see bands do it all the time, and it never works.
Worked for them.
It worked for them, though. You're right.
For those few years.
Yeah. I mean, and part of it was, like, my dad told me this story, like, apparently, like, when they were in New York, when they were playing Shea Stadium, like, Bob Dylan was there. And, like, Lennon asked him, he's like, well, what'd you think of our music? He's like, yeah, it's good, but what do you have to say?
Yeah.
And that stuck with Lennon, like, you're right, like, we're just, you know, what are we doing?
Yeah.
And that's when they started the switch. And also, like, the Beach Boys releasing Pet Sounds.
Yeah, it was a huge influence on the Beatles.
Yeah. Like, they freely admit, like, we heard Pet Sounds and we're like, okay, well, we got to do that.
Yeah, well, that's why you got all those instruments and everything.
Yeah.
It was all Brian Wilson.
Yeah. I mean, you know, Brian Wilson's the insane genius.
Yeah. He was a magician.
Yeah.
It's just a shame
that he's insane.
Yes, but
I mean, like,
I think what's a shame is, like, I don't think that was ever tapped.
No,
I think you just got the surface.
But that's the problem
on what Brian Wilson.
But that's the problem with Brian Wilson is he knows that too, and he is still searching.
Yeah.
Like, he will tell, like, he sees music.
Yeah.
You know, like, when he writes it, he sees it. And,
yeah.
like, it's out there. Like it's like that video or that movie with Russell Crowe with the mathematician. Like, he just sees this shit. And he knows, like, there's more in there. I can't make it work. Like, whatever it is I need to do, I can't translate it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a shame because, like Brian Wilson, like, and I mean, it's funny, like, you said, like, oh, it's the fucking Beach Boys. Listen to Pet Sounds.
Yeah.
Just listen to Pet Sounds. Because it is not just the Beach Boys. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, they're the Beach Boys, but, man, that fucking album is amazing.
Yeah, he's an amazing person.
Yeah. And yeah. he pushed for more, and they were like, oh, man, what? Help me, Rhonda works. You know, he's like, no, you don't understand.
Yeah, I know. He was way ahead of his time.
Yeah.
But what could have came out of him would be... It would have been glorious. It would have been a musical revolution if he ever figured it out.
Yeah.
No, it would have been.
Right. Well, I mean, like, I know I'm going to say something sacrilegious to many people. But, I mean, if Buddy Holly lived, we might not have had the Beatles.
Right.
Because he was that far ahead of the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, like, he was starting to do things before he died that it was like the Beatles would have never been.
Yeah. Weird how things go like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like if I could go back in time, like, I would be, like, let's change the timeline. Like, what's the one thing you would change in the timeline? I would have saved Buddy Holly. I would have kept him off that plane. Yeah. You know, just out of sheer curiosity of like, what would have happened to music?
Yeah.
Like, where would music have gone if Buddy Holly had lived?
Yeah, I know.
It's weird. It is weird.
What do you think Hendrix would have done if he lived?
That's a very interesting question.
I mean, where do you think he would have gone? Like, what direction? Or would he have just kept making the same stuff?
I don't think he would have kept making the same stuff.
I think he's too artistic for that.
Yeah. But I think it becomes like, where would he, like, where would guitar music have gone at that point?
Yeah.
Because you have Hendrix, and then would he have been influenced by like Page and Clapton and Jeff Beck, or would he?
Well, they saw him.
Yeah.
At a show.
Yeah.
Clapton was like, that's one of the most amazing things he's ever seen in his life.
But I mean,
he was like, they were in awe of this guy.
But Clapton had already kind of established himself at that point. So had Jeff Beck. And you have Page coming along. Like, at that point, he was in the Yardbirds when the height of, like, well, actually, 69 Led Zeppelin 1 came out, or 1970 Led Zeppelin 1 came out.
Uh-huh.
So Page had already been in the Yardbirds, and they were dissolving.
Uh-huh.
Like, he actually kept the Yardbirds name. And, like, Led Zeppelin was initially going to be the new Yardbirds.
Uh-huh.
But then they decided to ditch the name altogether. So, like, I wonder how, like, how much influence would, like, that have had, like, those great guitarists would have had on him, and would his style have changed a little bit at all?
Yeah.
Because he was very... Like, there's parts of Hendrix I love. Like, I mean, you know, Joker and the Thief, I think his version is amazing. All on the Watchtower, excuse me. Like, I prefer his version over the Dylan version, which I know some people consider sacrilege, but I do. Like, I think it's amazing. But I just, like, you wonder, like, how, like, would he have been the one that influenced them, or would they have influenced him?
Yeah.
But also, like, if he stays alive, like, do you get, like, oh God, what was his name? I can't believe I can't think of his name right now. That's a sin.
Oh, what years?
Like the early 70s. Greg Allman. Okay, Greg Allman. Who, again, master guitar. Like, Layla was not played by Clapton on the recording. It was played by Greg Allman.
Uh-huh.
You know, like, people don't know that or forget that.
Uh-huh.
Like, you know, it's like, well, that's a Clapton song, clearly. Like, you listen to it. No, that's Greg Allman on guitar. I hate to break that to you. You know, as good as Clapton was, Greg Allman was stood up and said, yeah, I'll take this. Yeah. You know? So, like, would, like, guys like Greg Allman have been, how would they have been influenced by, like, a Jimmy Page?
Yeah.
Like, how would Eddie Van Halen have been influenced by an alive Jimi Hendrix? I mean,
yeah,
like, you know, how would these guys have been influenced? Like, there's some things you look at and you say, like Van Halen would have been Van Halen. Like, you know, Eddie was creating his own way of playing guitar, you know, with the tapping and stuff. But, like, Hendrix releases the album in 1972. Like, how does it influence everything that comes after that?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the great what if game.
Yeah.
trying to think.
Three Dog Night.
Three Dog Night. Yeah. But it is interesting to think about, because you think about how music progressed, and it's because of what came after and what kind of stopped after it, in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Morrison lives. Did the Doors record another album?
I don't know. No, I mean,
yeah. If you look back, they were in disarray. Jim was in disarray already. His death was inevitable, just because of where he was. But let's say somehow he cleans himself up. You know what I mean?
I think he'd have become a recluse.
I think so too. I think he was done.
Yeah, I think he hit his peak.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. But who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe he would have done something else. But the songs that that man produced within the short time of period that he was around.
Yeah.
Or that band.
Yeah.
Produced.
Well, they really they did a total of 3 studio albums. I think, right? Yeah. And Morrison Hotel is considered one of the best ever.
Yeah.
You know.
But just look at the songs.
Yeah.
Even
when they hated each other, Riders on the Storm was oh my God.
The end.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just so far advanced of what was going on at the time. No, really.
No, you're right. A lot of that was based upon his poetry.
Yeah.
I've read books of poetry by Morrison, and I'm like, do I gotta be high to read this? You know?
Yeah, just the amount of songs that they produced.
Yeah.
Within the 3 albums. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the quality of songs that they were writing.
Yeah.
It's what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's crazy.
Here's the great what if.
That's nuts.
What if Syd Barrett doesn't go insane? Really? What if Syd Barrett... how would Pink Floyd have been different if Syd Barrett...
You mean instead of Waters?
Yeah.
I don't know.
For one thing, you don't get...
The Wall.
Yeah, you probably don't get The Wall at all. You don't get...
Dark?
Probably not Dark. I'm trying to think of this one particular song. What's the one? I can't think of it.
You're thinking of a song?
Yeah.
Wish You Were Here?
Wish You Were Here, yeah. That was about Syd Barrett.
Yeah.
That was Roger Waters saying, I wish you were here, my friend. You know?
Yeah.
I miss you. Shine On, You Crazy Diamond. You know. Stuff like that. Huh?
That's a great song.
Oh, isn't it? That may be my favorite Pink Floyd song.
That's what I'm saying. When I said Floyd earlier, there's some damn near perfect songs in the Floyd.
Yeah, Shine On. When you said Floyd, my first thought went to Shine On, You Crazy Diamond.
Yeah.
Because that's really fucking good.
Comfortably Numb.
Yeah.
Another. There's so many.
Yeah.
Floyd's had so many songs.
Yeah.
It's weird because I don't think the younger generation realized how many songs Floyd actually had.
Yeah.
The hippies do. Not even the hippies. Anna was probably still is a big Doors fan.
Yeah.
So she's gone down that road.
Yeah.
Already. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But Floyd is so interesting.
Oh, progressive, yeah.
Yeah.
I would have loved to see them in their height.
Yeah. Yeah,
like at Wembley or whatever.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Yeah,
the whole crowd singing Comfortably Numb.
The concert where they just the entire concert they're just building a wall in front of the band.
Yeah.
You know, until the wall's covering them and then just the show ends. That's nuts.
It is nuts.
It'll be amazing to see.
So many good songs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And they showed sides of them, too.
Yeah.
Like, there's musical styles and stuff.
Right.
Like, you look at Money compared to...
Yeah.
To Comfortably Numb.
Yeah.
Or whatever. You know what I mean? It was like... Doom, 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 doom.
Right.
Like, very... You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like... What's the word? Jazzy, almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had a lot of different influences.
Oh, yeah. Great band.
Yeah.
Huh. It still amazes me the amount of songs that the Doors produced. Like, in a short period of time.
Oh, yeah. Like, you can't name like another band that had that big of an influence in that short period of time.
I don't think you can.
No.
Yeah, I don't think you can. I mean, like, it's such a short period of time, but I mean, God, the songs that were made by them, even the sub songs, were good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like Jim is writing his own Bible.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's weird. My favorite song by them is Waiting for the Sun. I don't know why.
That's a good song.
I don't know why. It's short.
It is. Yeah, that's a good one.
It's heavy. It's heavier than people think it is.
Yeah.
And it also reminds me of River Bottom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun,
yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. Yeah. I like it because it gets like so angry.
Yeah.
And then it gets so like...
Yeah.
It's all flowy.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
It's so badass. It's such a contrast of within the song itself. That's why I just find that the Doors are they were just amazing.
They were. Like the rest of the band, like Jim was Jim. Like, he wasn't writing music. He was just throwing lyrics at the wall.
Yeah.
You know, but like the rest of that band was so musically talented.
Oh yeah.
To like take what he wrote and figure out ways to make it work.
Oh, and it worked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just put Jim out there half naked and high, man.
Yeah.
He's got the crowd.
Yeah.
Truly.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right.
People loved him. They worshipped him.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was ever to think of a rock star in history, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That could be close to the Antichrist, it would probably be Jim Morrison.
Yeah.
No, for real.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen people, I mean, you see the Beatles fans, and you see, you know what I'm saying? Like, you've seen these fans in the past, and even now with these singers, those fans with Jim Morrison were like he was a god.
Yeah.
Overplanted.
Yeah.
I know that sounds weird, but I mean, like he would just come out like this, and he could tell him to jump off a bridge, and they'd jump off a bridge.
My favorite story, I heard, I can't think of her name. From the...
Also, Val Kilmer's best role.
Yeah. Quite possibly, yeah. I can't think of her name. From Jefferson Airplane.
Grace Slick.
Grace Slick, yeah. Grace Slick told a story one time about Jim. And she said, we're walking down Haight-Ashbury. And it was just common, like, people just gave you drugs. People, you're walking down the street, and people are like, hey, man, here you go, man. You know, you just had a handful of shit. Now, what you did was you went back home and you looked through it to see what it was before you took it.
Yeah.
Jim was just taking it as he went. You know. No clue what it was. Didn't give a fuck. Was just popping it as he went.
No way.
Yeah. So who knows? I you know.
Isn't it crazy that his mind lasted like that?
Did it?
Yeah, I know.
I know. I mean, like...
he was still writing.
Yeah, he was. But, I mean, like, it's that thing of, like...
it drove Sid Barrett mad.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I see where you're going. Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, Jim just kept going.
Yeah. Like an Antichrist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, really.
Yeah. No, you're right. Like, I'm following your thread there.
No, what I'm saying is, like, even the Antichrist walking down the street like that.
Yeah.
He was like, hello, people.
Yeah.
And just kept popping.
Yeah.
And they loved him for it.
Yeah.
You know? That's crazy. He's probably an asshole.
I have no doubt he was.
But I'd be damned if I wouldn't sit in a room and listen to him talk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, like, I mean, I know, like, the members of the Doors, like, they talked about the movie, and they're like, yeah, they were just trying to set up Jim as this asshole. And I'm, like, thinking to myself, like...
He probably was a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I know you're trying to protect the legacy. And, oh, by the way, you did give information to Oliver Stone. Like, you were consulted on this.
Raven's there.
You know? But, like, I feel like at the end, like... He was probably loyal to his friends, but also a complete and total asshole to him.
Yeah.
But you forgave him because he was Jim.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, fuck it. You know, it's just Jim being Jim.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and so he gets the pass.
Yeah. Right.
From, like, you know. It's like an interesting thing, like, I wonder how many people are like that, like, especially famous people, because it's like back then you could get away with it. People covered for you, you know. Yeah. You were just this famous person, but now, like, social media's kind of ruined that to the point that, like, you know, we know everything about you. Like, even like if you're trying to put on a public face, we know what the behind the scenes face is.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the mystique is ruined in a way.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well.
Be cool to sit down and talk with him.
It would. It certainly would. I'm sure he would be very interesting to, like, just let go for an hour.
I know. Can you imagine?
No, I can't. That's the problem. Like, I can't even imagine what that would be like. As much as I've read about Morrison, and as much as, you know, I've seen, and even, like, you know, stuff has been released with him talking, and it's just like, I cannot imagine what sitting down for an hour with Jim Morrison would have been like.
Right.
Even if he was interested, like, he was like, oh, I really want to engage with you. I am the Lizard King. I know everything. You know, like, fuck, here we go.
I feel like trying to give an exorcism.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right, let's wrap this bad boy up.
All right.
Anything to add to the proceedings there, sir?
No, okay.
Well, remember, there are a number of different ways you can reach out and touch us. You can send us an email. That email address is pittsburghnerd@yahoo.com. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Mastodon. I don't know if I'm going to be joining any other social media at this point, but apparently it's a big deal.
Okay.
Yeah, like, you know, I'm not going to get down that road. We'll be here for another 2 hours.
Yeah.
But right now we're on Facebook, Twitter, and Mastodon. Just search Pittsburgh Nerd Podcast. You can also find us on a number of podcasting networks. We are on the Tangent Bound Network, the Weeby Geeks Network, and the Pod Breed Network. Just give them a Google search. You can find all the other great stuff they have to offer. And lastly, as always, we want to thank you, dear listener, for checking us out each and every week. We can't thank you enough for that. And on that note, the dreamer has awakened.
Peace.